What up, Internet? This is the Pop Geek Podcast, episode 29. Yeah, we made it pretty far.
Yeah, almost to the
30s. Almost to 30, yeah.
Dirty 30s.
That's nice. So today on the show, we're going to talk about... We got a lot of movie stuff, actually, which is kind of cool, because we've known the Power Rangers were coming out.
And yeah, which is surprising, because I didn't think they would ever remake that movie or go back to that time period, but it seems to be coming back and full force. Like I've seen so much publicity for this movie, which gets me even more excited.
I know, and it's got some quirks to it. I got a bunch of information on it, so we're going to talk Power Rangers. We're going to talk a little bit of Justice League. Zack Snyder just put out a video on his Twitter account that's all behind the scenes, but of course, trying to mine it for new stuff, and they're pretty careful with what they show.
It still looks pretty cool.
It still looks pretty cool. Yeah, and actually, that's what they say too. Is it's supposed to be a funner movie because the Batman and the Superman were pretty dark.
I didn't care for that one.
And then if we get around to it, we'll talk a little bit of E-League and all that fun stuff that's been going on in the world of eSports, which is creeping up on being a massive industry.
Again, we keep bringing it up periodically from time to time, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I mean, I get notifications on my phone, things like Bleacher Report. There's whole websites now popping up that are devoted to what's going on there. There's a lot of money involved, and a lot of big people are now recognizing the viability of esports.
Now, before we get started, talk about your little toys here. You went on a little shopping spree, I see.
Yeah, it's official. Like, I can't go to Target anymore by myself, because if I go with the kids, I can avoid the toy section, or I know I have to buy certain things. But I went by myself. And I'm like, the Rogue One toys are out.
Oh my god!
I know. And I'm like, so $80 later, I have Jenner. So I have the robot from the movie, who I forgot his name already. I got maskless Kylo Ren, because I'm going as Kylo Ren for Halloween. So
nice.
I figured we're similar in size and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I saw the maskless one. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Are you as dark as him now?
No. I'm not quite as emo as Kylo Ren. Yeah. I don't have any animosity towards my father. So
he's seen shit.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this is part of the spending spree. There was also there was a Destiny purchase. You saw me put it together. If you guys saw the video,
the Mega Bloks, right?
The Mega Bloks thing. I had previously bought one when it first came out. Now, I have to go check on it every time, and again, I'm weirdly upset that they don't have enough Titan stuff. They have Hunter stuff, they got Warlock stuff. We do have Titan. So it's just dumb. But anyway, let's talk about Power Rangers while we're talking about stuff from our childhood.
I'm actually really excited because they just announced that they're going to come out with a new side-scrolling beat-em-up game called Power Rangers Mega
Battle. And it looks pretty cool.
It does.
And I think it's going to be cheap. It's going to be on PSN and Xbox One for download.
It's a digital.
Yeah,
yep.
It's not a big game, but it's a side-scrolling 4-player or 5-player.
No, it's 4.
Is it 4?
It's 4.
4-player, and you just beat stuff up.
Yeah, and it's the old Mighty Morphin saga, and you can choose the Green Ranger, Pink Ranger, any Ranger you want, you know. It looks really fun. Then you can actually fight as the Megazord against the giant monsters.
Yes.
It looks so cool.
It looks really good. Again, there are certain things where if you're going to throw back and do that type of thing, keep the price point low, have a little fun with it, and I think it'll be better than because we were actually excited about that Turtle game.
Yeah,
and that Turtle game just kind of crapped the bed, and it's
But from what I've seen so far with the Power Ranger movie, they're doing a lot of things right. I mean, they got Bryan Cranston as Zordon. They just announced Bill Hader as Alpha 5.
Is he going to be Alpha 5? Because I saw him listed in the credits, and I'm like, he's got to be Alpha. Yep. He's either Alpha or he's going to be Skull. That was the only two things I could think he could be.
It's Alpha 5.
That's awesome.
I just hope they don't go too full CG with Alpha 5. They actually should have a guy
or some
or even a puppet. I don't care. As long as it's a physical thing.
He's a skinny guy. He could fit in the suit.
No, they got to throw in an I somewhere. Yeah, if they don't,
I would be pissed. One of the things they talked about is cameos already.
Really?
No one can confirm it. I think Jason Frank said he expects to get the call.
Right.
So I think a lot of them. There is some controversy over that because the Yellow Ranger passed away a few years ago in a car accident. Mm-hmm. And I guess one of the girl who plays the Yellow Ranger now put out a thing. One of the posters is them on their Zords. Yeah. And they're like, "Hey, driver's ed, blah blah blah," and people freaked out because it was a driving joke, and the Yellow Ranger died in a car accident. And I'm like, that is just that's a little too sensitive. Yeah, she probably didn't know. She's what, 20?
Yeah.
She was not even alive when the Rangers were on TV
at that time. Yeah.
So I mean that's just silliness, but The new posters, I will say, kind of sexy in a way. Those are some tight ass costumes. I mean, they were nylon before, but
at least these have more molding and detail as far as the other ones are just like a skin tight bodysuit.
Do you know what I actually like about it? It looks like it's from space.
Yeah,
it's not a soft, neoprene suit. Like, what does that do for you? Like, that wasn't blocking anything. But this looks like this is on par with like Batman or even Master Chief or something.
Or like the new Flash costume.
Yeah, the new Flash.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
and like I wasn't for the new costumes previously, but once I saw these posters, like these new ones, I'm all for it now. Yeah. It looks cool.
It looks really cool. Good. It fits the look of the film that I've seen so far. I mean, no trailers have been released. I'm not getting inside information. It's electronic and like the power coins. They showed the power coins.
Yeah, I saw them.
And it looks like something the Vex would have in Destiny. It's like a rock, but then it's also got digital like track marks in it.
Yeah, it looks like an ancient technology.
Yeah, it looks like technology, something old merged with something new. The other stuff, it seems to have a darker tone, from what I could tell. The guy who it looks more Pacific Rim.
Yes.
Than Godzilla.
Yes.
Like Godzilla was always silly. And the show was silly to a certain point because it was a big monster in a rubber suit and they fought and whatever. But like this almost looks like Pacific Rim. Like it looks viable. You know what I'm saying? Like the giant mech machines look less like a dude in a suit than an actual working machine that could theoretically do this.
What's funny is when I first saw Pacific Rim and I saw the robots fighting the monsters, I thought, I hope Power Rangers makes a Megazord like that.
Oh yeah,
make that look. That would look so good.
That movie is so good.
Yeah,
it's not even funny, and it's Guillermo del Toro just makes phenomenal
I hate to
stuff.
say this, I have seen it once, but I just don't remember.
Don't remember it?
Like I remember watching it at my house because my buddy brought it over. He had it on Blu-ray, and he's like, "Dude, you got to watch this movie. It's awesome." And
then a lot of beers happened.
I was probably pretty drunk that night.
Yeah.
I just don't remember watching it. Like I know I watched it, I just don't remember the movie itself.
I know. I think I waited for DVD, which I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm regretting that too.
Yeah, like I was kind of like, and then the reviews were positive, and then I bought it. I think I just bought it outright, and I'm like, this is phenomenal. Like, it's a big giant action movie where you fight monsters and it pays off on all aspects. Yeah. It's mostly about fighting monsters. There's no silly really love story thing that goes on that is parallel. No, it's just giant things fighting. It was great. Cities are getting destroyed, all that stuff.
No, this new movie that's coming out, I hope it delivers just as well because everyone loves the Gears of War franchise, and the Coalition and the people behind the Coalition have actually had talks with Universal Studios to make a Gears of War movie. Yeah. And right now they're in early talks and early exploration, but it looks like it's going to happen. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that.
I think a Gears movie. I'm not that familiar with the franchise. You basically made me download all the games because they were free on Xbox Gold. Oh, yeah. So I think I have 1 through 3. We've played a little bit of part 1. That's about all we've done. I think we Twitch streamed it, and but the story is deep. I never gave that any credit because I'm like, giant dudes like just killing aliens. I'm like, well, all right, whatever,
No, yeah, you got Marcus Phoenix, who is incarcerated because of something he did with his father, or for going AWOL to trying to save his father. So he gets, rescued by his best friend Dom to go fight this war about a legacy's locust that have taken over the world now, and it's just like it gets really deep. And then Dominic, his best friend, is trying to find his wife that was kidnapped by the locust. It's like there's all these little pieces in this team that make them all different, unique characters, which is great.
But again, it is delving into an area that is somewhat rocky. The video game to movie thing doesn't work a lot of times. This is good. The story is tight, and a lot of the people who are involved with these things have learned from comic book movies is don't mess with it too much. The people like it because they like it, because they liked it the first time. Like one of the few exceptions was like the original Batman films, which have nothing to do with the comics aside from the names of the characters and who's in it. There was no arcing storyline that had anything to do with what Tim Burton did, but everyone liked it. But yeah, like you can't just grab Marcus Phoenix and make some sort of weird action movie.
I just hope when they do make this movie that, again, they don't go heavily with the CG and make every single locust a CG character, like what was it, I Am Legend?
Yes.
How awful that looked
Yes.
with the CG,
the weird zombie characters. Yeah.
It's like, how hard is it just to put a big guy in a suit?
Actually, talking about that, some of that Justice League footage, you see some of the bad guys. I can't tell if they're wearing costumes or if they're wearing computer-generated things to track what they're doing.
I did see a shot that had like 5 or 6 guys in those mocap suits.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's for like trash mobs or some kind of
they were in the green suits.
Yeah,
I did see those.
No, they were in like gray with
the gray with the dots.
Yeah. But I didn't see what you were talking about. How you couldn't really tell if those were like practical suits or mocap suits. Yeah, they were. It was hard to tell.
Because like if you remember when Batman came out, they had the guys with the wings. And everybody's like, "Oh, that means this is I think it wasn't Apocalypse. It's Darkseid characters." And they never actually resolved that.
No,
even in that film, they just show up and then it happens, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a future sequence." I don't know if Darkseid's in the movie or not. It's just his guys, whatever. One thing I wanted to go back to real quick with the Power Rangers is I have some trivia for you because I know you're a huge Power Ranger fan.
Oh, God.
A little quick cast trivia here.
Did you know? Yeah, quick cast. Bryan Cranston apparently voiced 2 of the monsters.
Yep. One of them was the Bumblebee one.
The Bumblebee one?
I think it was the bee, yeah.
Oh, no kidding. So he voiced 2 of them, and they said the last name of the Blue Ranger is Cranston because of him.
Yeah.
I can't believe
Billy Cranston.
He comes out and does a voice, and they're like, "This guy's great. Let's name a character after him and never hire him again." like that's kind of crazy.
But it's gonna pay off. He's gonna be Zordon now. I mean, that's like the guy in Power Rangers. So
yeah, and then Jason David Frank, who is now an actual MMA fighter. I watched one of his fights online. He's legit. Mm-hmm. He's put on a ton of weight, like not fat weight. Like the dude is swole now. Oh yeah, kind of. Has now got a new job as Bloodshot, where now Valiant, which is a spinoff of Marvel, is trying to get their foot in the door with the darker of the series. Like, it'd be in the same vein as I don't know if it's on Netflix or what, but Bloodshot's going to get a show, and it's going to be along the lines of like the Daredevil and Luke Cage type shows. And they said he's actually cast perfectly for it because he's a shitty actor. And they're like,
wow.
I don't know much about Bloodshot, but apparently he's almost robotic. So it's kind of the Arnold Schwarzenegger theory, which is like he played a great robot because he barely spoke English and couldn't deliver lines with emotion, so it didn't matter, and everyone loved it. So
it's like this guy has the acting skill of Steven Seagal. Let's hire him.
Let's hire him. Yeah. He could be the future Steven Seagal for all I know. Oh, he's 42 years old, but
that's about right.
That is about right. The other thing is the people who are writing this are the team that wrote X-Men First Class.
Oh, good. I like that. That was a good movie.
They wrote on Fringe, and then they're writing a movie that I'm not happy about. Which is the Big Trouble Little China remake.
No.
Yeah.
They're remaking that?
They should leave that alone.
They gotta leave that alone.
Because it's perfect in the 80s. Because that's what you did in the 80s, is you made movies like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these movies you just can't remake because of that reason. Like, it was just...
It was a time and a place. Just leave it alone.
Goldie Hawn came out of retirement recently to do a movie with Amy Schumer.
Oh, really?
And
they're doing Overboard again, I think.
No,
I think so.
Really?
They are doing an Overboard remake. But
it's not the
I don't know
Amy
if that's the one. But yeah, Amy Schumer was talking about she sat next to Goldie Hawn on a plane, and
that just happened.
The rest is history. So I guess they're going to do.
Wait, hold on. I just looked up the Overboard remake. Jennifer Lopez is starring in it.
No, okay, I'm on.
But that would be kind of funny if Kurt Russell came out of
retirement for that. He'd have to at least do a cameo, I would assume.
Oh, it's produced by Will Smith.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, this looks all bad for the remake of Overboard.
All right, I got one more thing to add. And someone pointed this out online, is if you look up Elizabeth Banks in the movie, she's going to play Rita Repulsa.
Yeah.
Her costume is green.
Yeah, there's a whole theory about that saying, because in the original Modern Morphin, Rita Repulsa gave and created the Green Ranger.
The Green Ranger power. Is a bad guy.
Yes. So they're thinking that she either could become the Green Ranger, or that's where the Green Ranger is going to get his power from for the sequel, is from Rita. Because that's why you see her with the green and gold suit.
But, like, can you pre-plan a sequel? I mean, you have to.
You can. I don't know.
But at the same time, I wonder if it's part of the story already. Because they would have to keep them under wraps.
Yeah.
Because if you already showed him in the thing, you would already know that there's going to be the Green Ranger, and that's its own storyline.
I hope that that's the way, like, she's going to give up her power to create this character and not use it and become a suited up person that they fight against.
Yeah,
Rita never fought.
Yeah.
She always had her minions do the fighting. Yeah. And I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah, one of the theories I saw was that she'll give the power to the Green Ranger. The Green Ranger will then fight the Power Rangers. He'll end up turning on them, and that would actually open the door for Zed or one of the other supervillains that have played in the...
Yeah, surprisingly, you haven't heard a lot about the villains. You've only heard about Rita. Like, there's no Goldar, there's no the two henchmen. Dang, I forgot what their names were. Babu and all that, and Spinster.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be awesome to see a Goldar.
I don't know if they would do that, because they were so silly.
Nah, you could do Goldar, though.
You could probably do Goldar.
Yeah. She needs a
because you can make a serious Goldar, because they fought Goldar before as a giant version of Goldar. Yeah, that could happen. What else do I want to add real quick? Well, we're still on movies. What is it about Justice League? Batman has a beard. There's no Superman.
Yeah,
in that trailer, none of the London stuff has Superman. He is technically dead in the story.
True.
You see the little rays of the stuff at the end, but that was the one thing I wanted to add about.
He'll probably come at the very end to save the day like he always does, and all the Justice League's like laying on the ground, like, "What are we gonna do?"
Right.
I'm
Superman
here.
comes in.
It's like, okay.
So yeah. Anyway,
they're gonna take their 40s of Old English 800 and pour a little.
Yeah, pour it out for Superman.
Yeah. It's the right thing to do.
All right, so real quick, we're going to cover some eSports. On Friday the 30th, the Overwatch Open Finals took place on TBS. And that's the first time that Overwatch has been on television. Right now, the E-League has been pretty much relying on CSGO. CSGO being probably the easiest to manage in terms of visual.
I was going to say, Overwatch
content.
is chaotic. Like, even when I played it, I couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing or who was shooting me or what the heck was going on.
I'm amazed at the rise of that game, because there was a game that was released exactly the same time that looks just like it. Battleborn.
Or Battleborn, that's right, yeah.
And it no one bought it.
Yeah.
Like, Overwatch crushed it. And
I don't know. I think it was because of the name behind it, because Blizzard is behind Overwatch, so everyone knew Blizzard, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm going to wait for this one. I'm not going to care about Battleborn or whatever."
Well, also, like, we're Destiny players. We like playing Destiny, and Destiny has always had the problem of unbalanced maps.
Yeah. Like,
I had no idea that Overwatch was built specifically, actually, for competitive style gaming.
Well, because
the maps are all equal. I like the tournament format of what they did, which was best of 5. And it was, so like if you win 3 games, it's over. But also, the games are random. They never know what the game is until they start.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, I think and then you build your team.
Yeah.
Because the thing with Overwatch is you got defenders, you got attackers, you got healers, and you got, I forgot the third party, whatever weird one or fourth one they have. But, like, you're right, though, in terms of, I watched some of it. It is really hard to follow, which surprised me, because CSGO could be hard to follow because but the nice thing about it is the terrorists are, black mass and all that stuff. The counter-terrorists are always like in brown or whatever, so you can kind of tell them apart pretty easily. CSGO is always first-person camera, which is somewhat confusing at times, but Overwatch used the overhead camera at times to watch the groups merge, like especially in one of the game formats. So one of the more battle heavy ones, because there's the other one, the escort, where you got to kind of stay on your thing and keep it going. And then they would go single camera, and you would see some kills and stuff like that. But the like color and like the beauty of the game, which you actually kind of enjoy, is really hard to follow at the speed in which these kids are playing.
Oh yeah. Like,
I'm watching, like, Roadhog hook a guy, shoot a guy, hook a guy, shoot a guy. And then, I don't know, the forward progression is hard to comprehend.
Yeah, the only way you can know if you're winning or not is by just looking at the scoreboard. Oh, they got 10 kills, they got 5. That's the only way
that you're really following it. So, I was excited to hear about it, because I'm like, this is going to be cool. This will be a new game that they could put on TV, and actually was a little disappointed by the product. As far as results, the Misfits won. It was a European team. They won 3-1 over NBS. There you go. Look at that. Didn't even plan it. So there's still, it has marketability issues. The same issues that are kind of what the CSGO thing is. They're kids staring at computers. They don't have a lot of. They got some personality. They'll go outside with them and shoot a package with them where they're like being normal people. But at the same time, they're just not really that interesting.
Yeah, and like I know you think, oh, well, they're playing video games, aren't they going to be really animated when they're playing? It's like no, it's not like the movies where you see them do this and that. No, they're like this the entire time.
And it's scary. Like they're this close to their monitors, a lot of them, and like it's mouse work and keyboard work, you know. So it needs a little work, but the important thing is it's super growing fast.
I have an idea.
What's that?
Esports. With the voice actors from MXS.
Yeah, there you go.
Or MXC, whatever.
Yeah, MXC. Where you just re-voice over all the stuff that's happening. I think that's a winner right there. We'll just take the footage off of the show and just rip the audio out and redo it. And that's one thing that
Make
hurts
it look
it too.
like an old kung fu movie.
Yeah. But that's one thing that hurts it too, is like the announcers are super serious.
Really?
Like, oh, here's what he's doing, and he's trying to, and everyone's British for some reason, and they're like laying out strategy. Like, why don't you just have an asswipe gamer in there somewhere who's just like talking crap, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, this doesn't have to be. I mean, yeah, it is a serious sport to those guys and all that, but yeah, make it part of that culture. Get a gamer kid in there that's like, oh my god, look what he just did. He just did. Oh, that's amazing. I've never seen that before. You know, they get excited about it.
They do get excited, but it's very reserved inside the game. It's not the... And I hate to advocate for trash talk because I'm not a big fan of it in real sports. Like, I don't like the boisterous jerk players who like feel the need to insult everyone all the time while they play, but at the same time, they need some color in there.
I think esports should be announced like golf.
Golf is very silent.
Yeah.
There we go. And he's moving towards the center now. And he's hooked and chained him and shot him in the face.
He spotted an enemy. He's going to fire. Look at that.
That frag grenade missed.
Wow.
So
golf
anyway,
clap.
As far as like this is growing, I just saw that Geico signed a big sponsorship with them now. 3 NBA owners have purchased into teams.
See, that's crazy to me. I didn't think they actually had that big of a following that teams are being bought for what, like millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
And Mark Cuban is not one of them.
Yeah, Mark Cuban, as far as I know, is not one of them. The 2 I do know about is the Grizzlies owner and the 76ers owner. The one thing that they did that you'll notice, though, is basketball players play a lot of video games.
Yeah.
They play mostly 2K and stuff like that, and Madden.
You used to watch them on cribs. That's all they were doing.
Yes, that's all they do.
They had a fridge full of Gatorade, and then they had,
Well, and they're 20 years old.
Yeah.
And you get to the arena like 4 hours before your game. A lot of guys had setups in their lockers with game units and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's not surprising. There's actually an NBA player named Jonas Jaberko, who I don't know who he is, but he plays for the Celtics, has bought into a team. Linkin Park, the band, their venture capital company that they've started has bought into a team. They're saying the industry is now at $493 million a year.
Wow.
Steve Aoki has bought an Overwatch team. The Dota 2 tournament that went on last month, the total purse for the final game, or for the entire tournament, was $20 million. And it was crowdsourced.
What? So
people could donate because they wanted to watch, they wanted to see it. You put your money in. It was just like a Kickstarter, and they're like, "How much do you want them to play for?" Put $20 in, put $10 in, whatever you're going to watch it anyway. And for the Dota 2 tournament, it went up to $20 million.
That's ridiculous.
That's what's funny is because Dota 2 and League of Legends are the big ones. Mm-hmm. And as far as TV, I don't know what they're going to do with them because it's kind of like the Doctor Strange, where you had to have 10 other movies before you did Doctor Strange, because nobody knows what the fuck's going on in Doctor Strange. But those games are the big ones. Those are the big money makers. The money on those, you got to have CSGO first. You got to have Overwatch first. And you got to have Halo. And Halo's already worked its way into the X Games and stuff like that. So I think this is just a huge growing thing. By the way, China won the $20 million. The team from China won $20 million on the Dota 2 tournament. Let's do some quick hitters.
Yeah. First thing I got on my list is Samsung has acquired the AI company Viv Labs. They're the team behind Apple Siri.
Oh.
So now they're going to come out with their own version of Siri called, I think they're going to call it Vive or Viv or whatever the heck it's going to be called.
It'll probably,
So their Samsung phones might have your own personal audio assistant. Or
will it be able to tell you when it's on fire?
Probably not.
Samsung, in my opinion, I have a Samsung phone. Love what they do.
Are you thinking of switching now?
It's not burning my leg right now. But no, I'm actually considering the Google Pixel, which we talked about.
Oh, that's right.
It hasn't come out yet, but like Best Buy is talking about $100 gift card. I think it comes with a VR unit, which is
really?
like cloth.
Nice.
It's like basically, because it's Google, it's basically the Google Cardboard, but like cloth and functional and wearable. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. But Samsung does a lot of stuff really well. They just do a lot of dumb, redundant stuff sometimes. Like, I have voice-activated stuff on my phone through Google, your operating system maker.
Yeah.
Do I need Samsung Voice too? Because I have Google Pay, and I have Samsung Pay, and it's built into my phone. I can't do anything about it. Like, they do a lot of this weird redundant stuff. They make a good product. It's just not different enough for me to move to it.
It's like when you're buying a PC and a Mac. The PC comes loaded with all this redundant software, where
does,
Mac just
always.
has the Mac software. That's all you need.
Yeah, that is very true. It's
I'm very happy with mine.
Right.
You should look into getting one.
I probably should. I do it now.
You might like it. You might like it.
Like, whatever, I'm going to buy another PC for $200.
I'm still working
I'm
on
gonna
this,
get this Surface Pro, dude.
No, I do want a Surface Pro. It's sad.
I'll pass.
Yeah. All right. That is super interesting. On the other kind of geek note, Doctor Who, the Christmas episode. You guys aren't Doctor Who fans.
No.
I watch a lot of Doctor Who, and I was introduced it through my wife. My wife is a big fan. And like, I actually went last year and saw the Christmas episode in a theater. It was one of those cool Phantom events, you know. Like we went and saw Mystery Science Theater. They put this on, and it's phenomenal. Like, their Christmas episode can stand by itself. It's a beautiful. It's like an hour and a half long too.
Aren't all like episodes like an hour and a half long?
No, they're like 40 minutes because they have a different format over there.
Okay.
But like, they're gonna have a superhero in the Doctor Who world, which I think is pretty cool. And it's not Doctor Who; it's a different guy, but he's gonna interact with Doctor Who in some sort of weird alternate reality, I'm sure. But I just thought that was cool. And then what else we got?
The Blade Runner sequel. Yeah, finally got a title. So it's going to be Blade Runner 2049.
Do you know who's attached to this?
Like
director? I want to say it was one of the big ones. It's not Zack Snyder or something like that, but it was like one of the heavy hitters with it. Now, the funny thing is, that movie, the original Blade Runner, is Philip K. Dick's story. When robots dream, or androids dream, do they have electric sheep or whatever? I forgot what that one was.
Right.
But that's weird that they waited this long. 2, it's a sequel to a book that was never written. Like, he didn't write
Ridley
a sequel
Scott?
to it.
Oh, no, Ridley Scott was it. No,
he
Ridley
the
Scott was
original. Yeah, that was the original.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too.
But yeah, like Blade Runner.
Denis Villeneuve.
I think you're in tough territory with that one. That is a big time cult film, and like if you mess that up, you're gonna have some trouble.
Denis Villeneuve.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it makes me.
And then you were saying they moved it ahead 2 decades.
Yeah, so this sequel is taking place a couple of decades after the events of the original. I know, and Harrison Ford's still coming back. He's going to be playing his original character. He's going to be playing an older person, probably a mentor role as he does now.
Yeah.
But, so 2049 is where the year takes place, where the new Blade Runner.
I want to say...
Starring Jared Leto and Ryan Gosling. And
why not? I don't know. At this
it's going to be like emo/chick flick.
Yeah.
Well,
the first one was pretty weird.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he does have sex with a robot.
Yeah.
So... But why not? Hey. But that's what I'm wondering is, like, where do you go from there? You go 20 years later, do they bring on more robots? Because they were trying to, like, phase them out. Wasn't that the whole story?
Yeah, I have to go back and rewatch it. But
Yeah.
I'll just be interested to see what the world looks like. Because before it was already, like, futuristic, but yet decaying and, like, it was really...
Well, also, it had that 80s thing to it, too, where everything was in Japanese because they assumed the Japanese were just going to take over the United States at one point. There was, like... 50 movies in the 80s that were just like, Japan's coming. This is it. Learn Japanese in school. I think that's...
They thought the same thing in the early 40s. And didn't work out.
Didn't work out that well. The other two... There's 2 more things I want to mention while we're still talking movies. The Accountant.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, like, it's actually getting a little bit of praise for Affleck's acting ability, which I know everyone craps on. I like the guy. I don't know why I like him, but I do. So, but his character in The Accountant has Asperger's.
See, none of the previews show that.
No, he's on the autism spectrum. And the way the story works out is that he is as a child, his dad like goes completely nuts and like raises him and his brother to be like survivalist military children. And then when he grows up, like he has Asperger's his whole life, so he can do numbers like crazy, but he can't do social interaction at all. So that actually, in a weird way, makes him like this perfect super spy
assassin
guy. But also, it's kind of a big deal that a main character in a film is on the autism spectrum.
So yeah, that's really interesting. Like, that makes the movie to me more interesting now. It's like, okay,
yeah,
Dustin Hoffman did it.
Yeah, well, totally.
So why not?
And that's kind of interesting. I mean, because like we're doing a Geek podcast and stuff like that. I remember the story. There was the young lady who Claire Danes played her in a movie. She has autism, and she developed all these things for cattle to be brought into slaughterhouses in more humane ways.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could remember her name. She has a really unique name, and she gives speeches all the time now, and she's real good about describing what autism is, and they've learned a ton from her. And she went to Microsoft and gave a speech, and they said she was in the lunchroom, and she leaned over to the person next to her and was like, half of the people in here have autism. And it's that high functioning level of like that Asperger's area that is a lot of like computer programmers, a lot of high level people who function at those high levels. And she knew right away, she's like, a bunch of these people in here are probably on that spectrum. Like they're far to one end to where they're not debilitated by, I don't want to say that in the wrong way, but like, some people have autism to the point where they're completely, can't function. And then there's people who have it, who live, absolutely normal lives and do their business. But
inner geniuses.
They're usually high functioning people. Like, they can't talk to you one-on-one without getting nervous and wanting to leave. But, if you sit them down in front of a computer, they can do amazing things. The one last thing I want to leave on, because we can't have a show without talking about Destiny, is how good is Rise of Iron?
Oh, it's been fantastic.
I went on Reddit. No one is bitching. I went on Reddit. Like, Reddit, that's all it's for. Like, the only thing I saw that was bad was, like, somebody's like, they need better ghosts. They should look more like Servitor. The Servitor should be a ghost. And I'm like, that's it. People are actually happy.
Oh, I've been happy. Like, I actually, before we to get to rank 5, you would take like a week. And you would save up your bounties with the last day.
It's the last day and then hit them all. Yeah.
No, my first character I hit rank 5 in like a couple of hours the first day, and then the second day I would hit my second character rank 5 in less than the time because of the way it progresses and gives you extra bonuses. And all the loots that drop,
the loots are good.
Yeah,
the guns
great.
are fun.
Yeah, they sound awesome.
Yeah, they sound cool. Again, that's a change I never would have thought of. Hey, let's make them sound different, and people want to play with them more.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed at how well they've done, and I'm looking forward to the new stuff that's coming. And I think this is the future of this game, is actually smaller. If you think about it, it's micro, not microtransactions, which is
we're actually
Iron
just
Banner.
So you guys know, we're talking about Iron Banner in the Rise of Iron.
Yeah, Iron Banner in Rise of Iron. I mean, Rise of Iron itself has been great too. Mm-hmm. They had a little mission. Everyone's a little disappointed in the mission because it's short, but that's always how they've done it. The story is short.
Yeah, the story took about a couple of hours to complete, but Iron Banner itself has been great.
Yeah. And so, like, talk about just doing it right, and then, like I said, smaller is what they're doing.
Yes.
Weekly bounties. Mm-hmm. Hey, go do this. Hey, go do whatever. And the Heroic Strike comes out, actually, this week.
The 18th.
The 18th. Next week.
Heroic Raid, you mean?
Heroic Raid. Yeah, Heroic
18th,
Raid comes out the 18th.
18th. Yep.
So, I think that about does it. So, we praised Destiny. We talked about Star Wars. We officially just had a Pop Geek podcast. So, all right, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. What else do we got? Facebook, please, all that stuff.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, subscribe. We have 200 subscribers. We get like 3 likes a week.
Yeah.
So give us a like if you've made it this far into the show, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't like it. All right, and we'll see you.
We should start saying that at the top of the show.
We really should. I'm gonna put it in as like a banner or something like, hey, you made it this far. Click the thumbs up. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Catch you later.